Hello there, pilots. Okay, so Mobile Suit Battle Operation 2 is what it is called, right? Yeah, Mobile Suit Gundam Battle Operation 2. Sorry. Just did some major updates. The most fun one of all is the customizing Automizer. Things in translation. So, okay, so for instance, I have my Alex here, okay? Everybody says the Alex is a really good suit to go on. Let's go ahead and first what you need to do is de-equip all the gear you have in there. Then, on the PlayStation, you press down the L3. And then you can just fix your focus. Now, because I have a very limited number of custom parts, because I don't spend a lot in this, I don't spend any real money in this game, and what I earn is really small, comparatively speaking to other players, because I don't play it as much as other players do, mostly because it's forever to lobby for me. And once I do get into a lobby, most times people quit out because of connection problems or whatever the deal is. If they could fix that, that'd be awesome. There was a fix they did put in the notes that the underground base had like several key areas where things could go, quote unquote, unnatural. And that makes a lot of sense because over the weekend I played some underground base battles and I was at a quit moment. In game developer terms, which I am not a game developer for video games, but I do make one-sheet tabletop games on a regular basis. It's kind of a hobby of mine. And it's something that my dad got me into because it's something he always did. You know how it goes. And it's a good exercise in thinking about gameplay in general and what it means to a person and what it's supposed to do for people. But anyways, I had a quit moment during last weekend's gameplay because every time we lobbied into the underground base, it seemed like I would go to try to capture a relay point so that we could advance up the field and eventually take out their base, because you can't call fire support, so the only point for the relay points, the only purpose for the relay points is to be able to spawn in a little bit closer to the action so that you're not wasting time trying to get from your main base upfield into the thick of it. So I noticed that when I was around those certain points, I would be obliterated. I am not a melee-focused pilot. I am a ranged-focused pilot or mobility-focused pilot. So part of the fixing that they did over this new update is fixing a lot of those problems with the relay points and other areas in the battleground, the underground battlefield. And I think that's going to be great because I do like the underground battlefield. It offers quite a variety of terrain to fight in, and that's a lot of fun. I mean, there's something that you kind of miss in tabletop gaming is that you don't have the visceral experience of being underwater or being on a rocky side or being in a city. Not essentially, because with tabletop gaming, you got to be able to see everything that's going on, unless your rules include, mechanics for hidden movement, and then in which case you got various tokens that you're using to be, scatter or chafe for radar. And I've got a whole mechanic on that is super awesome to play. And in fact, using that mechanic, I'm able to play solo games of Kill Team, a la a Space Hulk kind of vibe. But in any case, that's the segue up for other things. So, in a tabletop game, it's hard to emulate, things like variable terrain, like sand versus rock versus prairie versus mountains. Whereas in a video game, the designers put that shit into play. So if I have a mobile suit that is suited for underwater, sorties, then if I'm underwater, my mobile suit has more mobility. It has a little bit better extra, armor. Not to mention that also, I'm not sure if it's true or not. I have to test it. But somebody was saying that if you park your mobile suit in a body of water, that the cooldown on its thrusters is much greater. I do notice that when I play my AT guy in the battleground, in the underground battlefield, and if I play it on the dock battlefield, if I'm in the water, I recover from doing an evasive maneuver far faster than if I was on ground. And I move a lot faster underwater as well. So, yeah, that being said, let's go ahead and say, so I want to, as you can see, as you scroll down here, as long as you've deselected all the custom parts that you can have, and you can only have like 8, you can see all the different bars changing. And now like I said, because I don't have a lot of custom parts, the differences between space and ground are not going to be that great. Like, for instance, if I choose range focus, you look at range strength, it's a plus 10 there. Whereas if I come down here, it's going to be a plus 10. You see what I'm saying? So it doesn't really make much of a difference. So we'll go ahead and just click on the X and on the PlayStation, and then you go. It's done. This is phenomenal because I cannot tell you how many times, like say this act guy right here that I'm talking about. And by the way, every cost value of your mobile suit, every level value of your mobile suit does actually have different equipping. Can be actually equipped differently. So as you go up the mobile suit ranks, like from level 1 to level 3, from 200 points to 300 points, you could actually have different things. But let's say, for instance, I plan to play Act Guy all day today. There's very unlikely I'm going to find a 200 point sortie, but I want to play, say, a 300 point sortie. So I go to the customize. I'll go ahead and de-equip all this, and Act Guy is actually a ranged. He is a close combat feature. So there's the range focus. It's giving me melee buff, melee resistance. There's the melee focus. Get more melee resistance off of that. So if I wanted to go for more durability, though, this might actually be better. And then, of course, focus on mobility. Let's do durability. Let's make him tanky. As tanky as we can make him. Customize. And if we go again, we're going to make him durability. So now take a look at that. And versus this. It's a little bit different because there's more points available to this guy. And I have been putting him in the hangar, so just go ahead and deselect that. And by the way, to deselect, you press triangle. It doesn't actually say that anywhere on the screen, but it is what you do. So you see, not so much. He doesn't benefit too much from durability here. So probably more for mobility or melee. I think at the lower 200 point levels, I can probably take an advantage at melee. But yeah, just kind of wanted to share that real quick with you. Another reminder, which is something that most everybody in the community has been putting out there on the YouTubes. When you go to the sortie counter, check this out. This is super easy. This is like the easiest thing you do. Top pro pilots do this all the time. You take a look at the matches before you sortie in. There's a 500, a 550, and a 700. I know I don't have very many 700s, and they are not good enough for that. But the 550 is about mid-ground. Take a look at the quick match. Okay, we got 400s and 600s. I'm going to do a 400 match. But look at this. It's only got 5 minutes left. So I wait out, and I can get a 250. As opposed to the rated match, again, that's 5 minutes before it sorts out. There's not going to be any chance you're going to get a lobby to this. But let's say, for instance, there's an hour left on the sorties timer, and I wanted to play that. Okay, I load in. That's a 500 thing. It's going to be a basic city ruins, which is going to be ground 500. But look at this. I haven't selected an actual suit yet, have I? So I go over here, and I look around, and I say, okay, I want to sort by... I'm trying to find a 500. Oh no, I don't know what to do. Oh no. Well, I'm just going to grab anything. Oh. Now, you see down at the bottom screen, first of all, I panicked and I grabbed anything. I don't know what this suit does. I've never played this suit, I don't think. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be good with this suit. But see those Haros that are showing up in the teams? Those are guys who are actually still looking at their Haros. And one of them got kicked now. Which means that once your teams are formed and you get kicked or you exceed the timer, it counts against you. Leaving from here doesn't count anything for you. You don't need to select on that to jump into it. Now, there's only 4 minutes left. But let's say there's an hour on the clock. So I see it's a ground match. That's on the bottom right-hand corner. And it says 500 points, and it's 5v5. That's also going to be in the city. That means that having a bit of mobility is going to be fun because I'm not going to be as exposed in this map. So I'm going to pick a high mobility suit. So I go and I back out of the sortie counter. You don't lose your place. Seriously, you can go in and out as many times as you want. Then I bring up my Haro. Gotta wait for her dialogue to finish. Then I go to customize, and then I press and hold the square button. It says right there on the bottom left-hand corner. And I sort by cost. And guess what? If I keep holding down the square button, and I use the D-pad to left and right, I can just sort out just the 500s. And there's a suit. There's a 500. But looking through this list, I'm looking for something that's got good mobility. Movement speed. Look at that movement speed. That's a 205. That's a 205. That's a 210. So we're going to do this guy. And I'm going to customize him. And now I'm going to use the new automated customizing thing. And I'm going to focus on melee. Just because. And now we're done. Oh wait, no. I still have to register him for the ground sortie. You see what I'm saying? Now we're all set. Now watch. I'll go running in. It's a rated match. It's 500. I'm in the lobby, but it's going to boot me anyway because it's that sortie list is changing. So good watch. It'll say failed to match make. But the point is, don't launch a sortie unless you've got the right suit for it with the right customizations that you want on it. Because all it does, failing the lobby is like, wow, how do I put this? Failing the lobby is like, what's the one thing that nobody fails in their day-to-day? I guess anybody can fail anything, really. Okay, let's say, for instance, you're a draftsman or a draftsperson, and you're drawing the rough framework for a door frame. Failing the failed matchmaking because the lobby changed, and then it's going to say here in a second. Oh, it doesn't say it. Okay, so the lobby changed out completely. Let's see if we have any 500s in this, since I already have one set up. Oh, look at that. Nope, it's still going. Yeah, no one's going to be there because they're like, we're just going to wait for the rotation. Let's see, on the quick match, do I have any 500s there? No data. So we're going to go to 250s in the basic match ground. You can see that. It previews that down at the bottom, see? So while I wait for that thing to rotate around, I'm going to go back to my Haro. I'm going to bring up my customizer. I'm going to bring up my 250s. They're all set there. You'll notice that some of them are already tagged. I used to tag them by ground or space. I used to tag them by their suit type. General, support, and raid. Raid was red, general was blue, and support was yellow. But now I tag them by sortie types. So I play the Zaku 2 Kai quite a bit. And it's both good for ground and space. So I'm going to register this guy for both ground and space. Actually, I need to do space sortings, because that's the mission. Play the missions, guys. Then I go in here, and I pop all this off. And we're going to use the Atomizer. And I'm going to go for, let's say, where am I going to be the strongest? Ooh. Ranged focus. Melee focus. That is interesting that it gives you more hit points for range than it does for melee. I guess it's assuming you're going to take less damage in melee because you'll be moving around more. Let's go for mobility focus. Alright, I've already registered him. He's a 250. We back all the way out of this. Probably a minute left on the lobby. Wow, yeah. Okay, so there you go. You got 2 hours. So I'm going to do a 600 match. We'll do that. But anyway, the point is that it doesn't take anything to preview the matches that are coming up and get prepared for them. Use the Automator if you're not 100% sure of what parts you should be putting into your suit. Most times I beef up on pure... I played a suit that was just pure HP, and I sat there just taking tons of damage and just kind of like, teasing them, taunting the enemy with little pot shots here and there. And It was kind of effective because it only took about 30 seconds for my teammates to figure out what I was doing, that I was playing the tank, and they just immediately picked up flanking, firing positions, and we annihilated those guys. Not a single word was spoken amongst us, not even a fucking text chat. And it's situational awareness, map awareness, enemy knowledge. Enemy knowledge is pretty important, but in a game like this where you have so much diversity amongst suits and equipment, it's difficult to really figure things out, to know that, to know anything beyond that, oh, you're a raid unit, so my general unit's going to be pretty powerful against that, or something like that. But yeah, so that's all I wanted to share. Thanks for stopping by. Go do something fun.